YouTube? I'm Kirsty, and if you didn't get a chance to watch Extreme Rules tonight, I got you. And I also just stress ate an entire thing of Junior Mints that I got for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Okay, Extreme Rules actually started off really well. Okay, I don't know how it started off because Kirsty is awful with time zones. Sorry, the light's flickering. I hope I don't give anyone a seizure. And yes, she's up again. She's been teething and had a fever, so we let her sleep. And looks like she feels better. So that's good. Anyway, okay, so I thought I got in 5 minutes early for the pre-show. Nope, got in 5 minutes before the pre-show ended. But I saw that Shinsuke Nakamura beat Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title, and Drew Gulak beat Tony Nese to retain his Cruiserweight title. Okay, so our first match of the actual show was Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. So we start with Reigns and Drew in the ring. There's some punches. Roman does a big slap to Drew. Drew does a belly-to-belly and tags to Shane. Shane does his punches things, and Roman comes back, and he does the punches. Then Roman tags to Undertaker. Taker does a leg drop on Shane's arm, and then goes to the top rope, but Shane hits him down. So, Undertaker... That's just... I'm not even going to say, like, pummels. I'm just going to do that with that little face I made, too. That was adorable. Shane then tags Drew, and punches are exchanged with the Undertaker. Drew kicks Undertaker in the face, and Undertaker just, like, stares at him. Like, no expression. Look, I drew the eyes of the Undertaker. Drew throws Undertaker over the rope, and Undertaker brings Drew with him. There's some punches. They go back into the ring, and Undertaker tags Reigns. Hi, Sega. I'm glad you're feeling better. Roman Reigns slaps both Shane and Drew, then runs the ropes, but Shane pulls him down, so Roman flies over. So Undertaker on ringside grabs a chair and is chasing Shane around the ring with it. He doesn't catch him, though. They get back into the ring. That wasn't nice, baby. Well, I guess we're going to sit like this now. Thank you. Okay, oh, yeah, Drew McIntyre slams Reigns into the steel steps. They go back into the ring. There's a tag to Shane, some punches, another tag to Drew. Drew throws Reigns and does some holds on him, but Reigns gets a punch in. So Drew gives him a forearm, and Reigns Samoa drops Shane onto Drew. Drew runs at him, but Roman moves, so Drew hits the turnbuckle. Roman Reigns does a tag to the Undertaker, who punches Shane, snake eyes, so Shane rolls outside of the ring. Undertaker goes outside the ring and starts clearing off the announce table, and starts to pick Shane up, and who should come by but Elias out of nowhere, like an RKO, and hits him with the guitar. Roman Reigns runs over and punches Elias, so Drew claymores Reigns all the way to the timekeeper area. And Elias starts to hit Taker again with a piece of the guitar that he didn't break on him. And Undertaker grabs his throat, and just before he can chokeslam him, Drew McIntyre, claymore. They put Undertaker on the table. Shane goes to the top rope of the turnbuckle. Phew! Lands on Undertaker. And then they drag Undertaker in the ring, put a metal trash can on him, and Shane climbs the other turnbuckle, so he does the coast to coast on the metal trash can on Undertaker. After that, Roman Reigns Sorry, that's milk that she wanted us to have. After that, Roman does a Superman punch to Elias, and Drew does the Russian leg sweep to Roman. So Roman's like out on the side, and Shane starts a pin Undertaker, and then see if I can do this justice. He sits up. That was so lame. I'm like sitting against the back of the dishwasher, so. But anyway, he did that just way cooler than I did. And stands up, choke slam to Shane, and Elias does the thing. I am not making cute faces tonight. I don't care. I'm so tired. So when he's doing that, Drew McIntyre's standing behind him. We see it. Everyone else sees it. Undertaker doesn't see it. And just before Drew strikes, Roman Reigns spears Drew, which gives Undertaker the time he needs to do a tombstone piledriver to Shane McMahon. Undertaker and Roman Reigns win. That was a really good match, and I think, after like Super Showdown, how Undertaker had a lot more to prove because the one with Goldberg didn't go exactly how they wanted. I think this did that. I'm going to move because she's crawling on me. Sweetheart, I've tucked you in 14 times. I'm glad you're feeling better, but please go to bed. Okay. Let's see if this is a better. Okay, that's not so bad. Okay, next for the Raw Tag Team titles, we have the Revival versus the Usos. Please don't bite me. Oh, you were hugging me. Okay. We start with Dawson versus Jay in the ring. There's a lot of roll-ups, a lot of kickouts. Jimmy tags in. He gives a big forearm to Dawson. Dawson tags to Wilder. And Wilder runs to the Usos' corner, but he doesn't remember which one's legal. So both the Usos kick him in the face, because why not? The Usos end up throwing out Dawson as well, because Wilder had rolled out. So they're both outside. The Usos fly. They throw Jay into the barricade while Jimmy's walking back to the rope, so he doesn't necessarily see it. Jay goes back in. Dawson legs drop him, then tags to Wilder, who does a big drop on Jay. Then a hold. Then Jay does a back body drop, and he finally tags Jimmy. Okay, the ref does not see the tag to Jimmy, so when Jimmy starts running into the ring from the corner, the ref's stopping him. And while the ref is distracted with Jimmy, Dawson and Wilder are just beating the snot out of Jay. Dawson, then when the ref turns back around, Dawson's legal. He does a bunch of huge chops to Jay on the turnbuckle. Jay hits Dawson. They both fall to ringside. Tag to Wilder. A scene tag to Jimmy. Jimmy does a crossbody Samoan drop. Wilder has a big body drop. Cover. Jimmy kicks out. Tag to Dawson. And Jimmy does the corkscrew. Tags to Jay. And they, it's an assisted Samoan body drop. Cover, kick out. Dawson does the spine buster to Jay. Jay kicks out. Tags to Wilder. Dawson suplexes Jay off the top rope. But Wilder, who's a legal man, does a splash. And then Jimmy comes and does a splash on everybody. There's just a pile of bodies. Let the bodies hit the flow. And all four guys are in the ring. They all start exchanging punches. Jay super kicks to Wilder. Both Usos run the rope to jump on Dawson, but Wilder grabs Jay's foot. That's all it took to disorientate everybody. There was a shatter machine, cover for 3, Revival retains. Now, you guys, we had Cesaro versus Aleister Black. Were you guys excited for this one? I was pretty stoked. Okay, Aleister first flips Cesaro, and Cesaro actually sits down, does Aleister's thing. So then Aleister gets a little angry, gets Cesaro outside of the ring, moonsault from the second rope, and then Aleister's does it. This is how it's done, boo-boo. There's some punches. Alistair does a leg sweep to Cesaro. More punches. Alistair jumps on the rope, but Cesaro pushes him off onto ringside. Then pulls him back into the ring, does a springboard uppercut. Cesaro does a suplex to Alistair Black and a stomp to the sternum. Then Alistair Black does a moonsault to Cesaro. More kicks and punches. Black goes for the double knees, but Cesaro catches him, throws him up, just lets him crash to the mat. Oh, no. When he throws him up, he uppercuts him while he's in the air. Like, it was awful. And then there's a cover, but Alistair gets to the rope. Cesaro jumps at Black, but Alistair Black, puts his knee up, and it just gets Cesaro right there. Alistair does his knee bar submission. Cesaro reverses it into a sharpshooter and a clutch face. Alistair fights out. Alistair uppercuts, but Cesaro answers. Finally, Alistair Black mask, cover for 3. Alistair Black wins. That was really good. It seemed super short because of how I wrote it, but that's just because so much was going on. And I know I could pause it, but, my live tweeting would suffer. Can't let that happen. No one reads my tweets. It's fine. Okay, then a little backstage. I really didn't do the promos because most of them were just, recaps. But this one, R-Truth was looking for Hornswoggle, Drake Maverick. He finds Alexa Bliss and says, "Come here, I got something to tell you." And then says, "Have you seen Hornswoggle?" And she says, "Yeah, first stall on the left." So he's about to go in the women's bathroom. Mella saves him. And Alexa gives Nikki Cross a Twisted Bliss coffee shirt with the little rips in it. Because Nikki likes that stuff. Then who should come by but the Street Profits? They are making fun of the girls for, first they say you guys are cute, and then they're making fun of them for going to be co-champions. And Nikki kind of goes off and says, "We will be co-champions, la la la." To which Montez says, "Woo, she is intense." And Angelo says, "I kind of want to party with her." Okay, so then we have the Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss and Bayley do some grapples. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I missed a lot at the beginning because my dogs were outside and they wouldn't go potty. So I kept running in and running back out. So this is just what I saw. Then Nikki was in the ring. I assumed there was a tag there while I was yelling at the dogs to poop. Nikki gets thrown out. Alexa tags Alexa. Alexa tags Nikki, but she doesn't think Bayley sees it, so she's running at Bayley from the apron, and Bayley uppercuts her. Then she gets thrown into the steel stairs. Alexa Bliss is dragging Bayley everywhere with her hair and just, hitting her on turnbuckles, on barricades, you name it, she was hit by it. Both girls take turns tagging and just kicking Bayley. Nikki puts her in a hold, but Bayley throws her outside of the ring. Bayley gets put inside of the apron, the actual cloth of the apron. Bliss pulls her out by her hair. Nikki kicks her a bunch, tag to Bliss. Bliss elbows Bayley. Bayley gets loose, punches Nikki on the ropes, and Alexa Bliss drags her by the hair again. Double knees to Bayley's midsection. Bayley runs the ropes, but Bliss stops her with a slap. Bayley finally takes down Bliss, dives to Nikki. Bayley does, I think it's called a guillotine or guillotine. I don't know how Midwesterners are supposed to say it, but where you push their head so the rope's right here. She does that. Bayley throws Nikki on Alexa because after that Alexa falls backwards. Bayley picks up Nikki, throws her on Alexa. Bayley does the deadlock submission to Nikki, but Alexa Bliss jumps on her. So Bayley puts them both in submissions. Bayley's legs are still in a submission with Nikki's legs, but her hands are doing Alexa Bliss in a submission. Bliss gets out, climbs the ropes, jumps on her. Nikki does the tornado DDT, but Bayley kicks out. Bliss gets tags, goes for Twisted Bliss, but Bayley puts her knees up. So Bliss tags to Nikki. Where am I? Oh, Bayley knees her when she's flying. She climbs the top rope, does the elbow, cover for 3. Bayley retains. So we do not know how this will affect Nikki and Alexa yet. Then we have the Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley last man standing match. Which this, honestly, guys, was like the match I was least looking forward to. And, I mean, so far, all the matches have been really, really good. Okay, so before the fight even starts, Strowman immediately pulls Lashley over the rope onto the apron because Strowman came in last. So he just grabbed Lashley and pulled him. Then, when they get back in the ring, there's the bell. Lashley rolls out. Strowman shoulder tackles him, runs all the way around the ring to do it again, but Lashley spears him. Bobby grabs the steel stairs, hits Roman with them. Hits Strowman with them. Hits him again, and Strowman goes over the barricade into the crowd. Lashley grabs a steel stair and is hitting him as Strowman is walking up, like, the stadium stairs. Lashley is right behind him, hitting him with hands, chairs, whatever. Then they go to, like, you know, if you go to a live event, there's, like, the main place with the concession stands and stuff. This is where they are. Lashley just throws Braun into the floor of the main area. So Strowman somehow finds the strength, and he throws Lashley into a t-shirt wall display. Strowman they, like, go through the little tunnel or whatever, and he's pushing Lashley down the stairs towards the ring. Strowman runs down the aisle, like he's pushing Lashley. Oh, okay, why are you putting this stuff behind me, baby girl? I almost died. Okay. He's pushing Lashley down the stairs. He goes back, runs backwards down the aisle, comes flying out to shoulder tackle Lashley. Then Lashley gets up and drives Braun through the barricade. So now they're back ringside. The barricade is down. Lashley then slams Braun to the apron. Lashley runs and pushes Braun over the table and turns a table on Strowman. The announce table. I didn't write announce, but it's an announce table. And remember, this is last man standing, so every time one of them goes down, the ref is counting to 10. We think this is it, right? He's buried under the announce table? No, not Braun Strowman. So Strowman gets up, goes over the barricade, trying to walk away. Lashley runs at him, but Strowman gets him and throws him into the international announce table, which is like rows back. Lashley gets up, throws Braun into the barricade, so Braun punches him, then a kick, then a punch, then basically he's just beating the ever-living love out of Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley keeps getting up, like, on his knees and going, like, come on, like, very Nakamura of him. She's putting bottles of water behind my feet. I don't know why. I just want her to go to sleep. Okay, then he throws Lashley into the stair railing of the actual stadium. They're going up the stairs. A fan somehow gets in the way, and Braun just, like, pushes him down the stairs. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was, like, innocent, like the guy just went and got a hot dog or something, and he's just coming back and is accidentally in the middle of this, or if he's, like, one of the fans that actually reaches out and touches or whatnot. I don't know. I'm very curious to read about this later. But by this point, they have crossed over the stairs. They're on top of the tunnel. Braun power slams Bobby Lashley through, I mean, of course there's mats there, but through that into the tunnel. They're counting to 10. At 8, Braun Strowman emerges. He's the winner. Yes. Okay. So now we have the SmackDown Tag Team titles of Xavier Woods and Big E versus Heavy Machinery versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. So X and Bryan take turns leapfrogging until Xavier gets him with an elbow. Bryan tags Tucker, but Xavier takes him down with the legs around the neck thing. What is that called? Like, you know what I mean? No. Rowan tags in. He takes Xavier down, then tags to Bryan, who does his flying drop kick. There's a submission to Xavier using his nostrils. Like, that's rude. Tag back to Rowan, who drops Xavier on his knee. Bryan throws Big E into the stairs on ringside, and Xavier does a huge drop kick to Rowan. X tags Otis, and Otis just starts running over Daniel Bryan. He picks up Bryan and spins him and throws him. So after running into him into the turnbuckle, Caterpillar, I love to see this, I don't know why, tags to Tucker, a slingshot, cover, and kick out. Bryan has to tag Big E, who takes Tucker down, goes to splash, but Tucker puts his knees up. Then a tag to Otis as Tucker goes up top. Tucker jumps on E. Rowan breaks their... Yeah, okay. Rowan breaks the cover of Tucker on Big E. Daniel dives to Xavier Woods, who's on ringside. Big E spears him as he climbs back in. And then, okay, at this point, most of the guys are out of the ring except for, like, Big E, I think, and Otis. And Otis runs the ropes. And we're like, he is not seriously going to dive on them. Well, he's running. Then he stops and, like, slowly goes through the ropes and then just kind of jumps on them. It was adorable. So as he's doing that, Tucker is climbing up the post to the turnbuckle, and he really does dive at him. They pull Big E into the ring, compactor. Xavier breaks it up. Rowan starts to do the double iron claw to Heavy Machinery, but they kick him instead. So now Rowan is on the top rope. Heavy Machinery goes under him like they're going to flip him, but Big E goes under them. So they do the fall, but Rowan does not leave the turnbuckle. He doesn't fall with them, even though he's supposed to be the top of the fall. So Big E gets right back up, superplexes Rowan. Bryan is the legal man. He does a diving headbutt. Daniel Bryan, your neck, buddy. Remember all those years we didn't have you? He does a diving headbutt from the top rope and then a label lock. But Big E gets to the rope. Bryan, kicks Big E, and Big E just stands up, so Bryan slaps him. Big E does a huge clothesline. Bryan runs and jumps, but Big E catches him. Xavier goes to the top rope. Midnight Hour to Daniel Bryan. 3 count. We have our 6-time WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day. Okay, so after that, we have AJ Styles with Gallows and Anderson versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. Gallows and Anderson attack Ricochet before the bell. Then the bell. AJ gets Ricochet in the turnbuckle, but Ricochet comes back in full force. There's lots of flips, huge drop kicks. Ricochet arm drags Styles, then chops him. So AJ goes to ringside, and Ricochet does like a flip and kick at the same time. Dude is nuts. Gallows distracts him, so AJ hits him in the back of the head, drives him into the ring post. They get back in the ring. Styles drops Ricochet onto AJ's knee. AJ gets Ricochet in a hold, then a big elbow. Ricochet comes back with some punches and a big kick. Ricochet does like a leg flippy thing. That's literally what I wrote, leg flippy thing. Flying elbow, dives on Gallows and Anderson to get them out of the way. Comes back with a moonsault. There's a cover. AJ kicks out. AJ does another slam on Ricochet on his knee. Thank you. Okay, let's not play with the dog's water. Thank you. You are such a good helper. Styles throws Ricochet into the turnbuckle. AJ tries the phenomenal forearm, but Ricochet dodges it. AJ tries to get into the style clash, but Ricochet reverses it. They exchange some punches. AJ does a Pele kick and then tries the brainbuster, but Ricochet reverses that. He tries the brainbuster again. He gets it, covers, there's a kick out. No one can believe he kicked out. Ricochet goes on the top rope, and AJ's right there, and they're both punching each other. AJ falls, but comes right back up. And when he comes up, Ricochet takes it and throws his throat on the rope again. Guillotine, I don't know how you say it, team. Ricochet does a shooting star press. There's a cover, but Anderson jumps on the apron and is telling the ref, no, AJ's foot's under the rope. AJ's foot's under the rope. So Ricochet kicks Anderson. So Gallows kicks Ricochet. Then AJ does the Styles Clash off the top rope, and AJ Styles is the United States champion. Okay. People have voted for this one as match of the night. It's Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. I don't know if you guys can handle this. Dolph slaps Kevin. Kevin does a stunner to Dolph. Cover, 3 count. Kevin wins. That was the match. 1 slap, 1 stunner. That's all she wrote. Then Kevin gets the microphone and says stuff about Shane McMahon again. How he stands by everything he said on SmackDown Live. Alright. We're almost done here, guys. Bear with me. And then you can feel as I feel inside. We have Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe for the SmackDown title. Kofi does a big kick to Samoa. Joe retaliates with a lot of punches. And Kofi is sending a lot of punches of his own. Samoa Joe sweeps Kofi's leg. And Kofi gets up, but gets a big shoulder from Joe. Kofi comes back with a lot of punches. Joe does a kick to Kofi's head, but Kofi retaliates with a huge drop kick once he recovers. Joe punches, there's a cover, Kofi kicks out. Joe does a slew of kicks to Kofi, some finger manipulation, drags Kofi outside the ring to the steel steps, puts his finger in between the steel steps, and Samoa Joe jumps on them. R.I.P. Kofi fingers. Kofi gets back in the ring. He does some chops. You can tell his finger's hurting. It could be a work. I don't know. You can call me a mark. That's fine. Things make me happy, and I like to feel like things are magical. So let me have that, please. Be nice on Twitter. I mean, not you guys, but just people in general. He does a drop kick to Joe, cross body from the top rope to Joe. Joe power slams Kofi for a cover, but Kofi kicks out. Joe puts Kofi into a submission, a Uragani and a Centron, but Kofi gets out of him. Trouble in Paradise, Kofi retains. I know that seems a little weird just to say Kofi gets out of him and then Trouble in Paradise, but there was a crisis going on because possibly little Sega may have touched her brother's hard drive on his PlayStation and made it delete something. It was seriously a crisis. Okay, then we have our main event, ladies and gentlemen. Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins for the Raw titles, winner take all. Okay, Lacey comes out with the name Seth written across her backside on her shorts. So Becky immediately throws Lacey out of the ring, gets her back in, tag to boys. Seth does a blockbuster. I'm trying to get all this, guys. I was writing so fast and it was happening so fast, so I probably missed stuff, but I get the good stuff. I get the good stuff. Baron goes outside the ring, grabs a kendo stick, but Rollins knocks it away and does a sling blade. Lacey goes after Seth with the kendo stick, but Seth catches it, and they just kind of look at each other for a minute. And then Becky, who has a kendo stick of her own, starts beating Lacey with it. And Seth takes the one from Lacey, and starts beating Baron with it. So after that, men are back in the ring. Seth does a rolling elbow, and Baron... Please stop playing with the water bottles. And Baron rolls out of the ring. So Seth dives for him, but Baron holds up a chair. So Seth dives into a steel chair. Lacey throws some chairs to Baron. He sets up 2 chairs, picks Seth up, but Seth reverses. There's a big elbow by Seth, and Corbin gets the chair, hits Seth some more, and sets the chair in the turnbuckle, like against the ropes, which was an interesting thing to do with the chair. Seth does some big kicks to Corbin, then picks up Corbin and throws him through the chair in the turnbuckle. Tag to Becky. Lacey and Becky both charge each other ringside with chairs. The announcers kept talking about, I didn't necessarily see it, but I guess, like, Lacey kind of lost control of her chair, and it bounced, and it hit Becky in the face. Like, you could tell her face was a little messed up later. And Lacey's mouth was bleeding later. Okay, they get in the ring. Becky gets her with chairs, does an exploder on a chair, puts the chair on top of Lacey when Lacey's laying there, and does a leg drop on top of it. Becky and Lacey go hard. Lacey kicks out of whatever Becky gives her. As you see, if I may, my marker was dying, so I had to go find another marker, so that's why. Lacey goes hard. Like, that's how I'm describing a match. Anyway, okay. Becky narrowly misses a woman's right, but tags to Seth. Baron is not in the ring. Seth can't fight if Baron's not there. So Becky and Seth decide they're going to go and get a table, and they set it up by ringside. Baron pops back up, grabs Rollin, beats him into the barricade, throws him through the timekeeper area, and off of the announce table. Lacey throws Becky through the steel stairs. Baron brings Rollins back in the ring, and Lacey and Corbin both beat him with kendo sticks. Becky runs up to stop, and Lacey and Corbin both do double choke slam to Seth and Becky. Both cover, both kick out. Then, Corbin and Lacey bring the table to the ramp. Corbin and Lacey try to flip Seth through the table, but Becky runs up. So Seth and Becky are able to flip Baron and Lacey behind them onto the ramp. Not just to any part of the ramp, to that metal part at the ramp at the bottom, you know? So both of them, there's 2 tables at this point on ringside. Because remember, they sat up one, and then Lacey and Corbin sat up one. Okay, well, Becky puts Lacey on one table, and Seth puts Baron on the other table. Then Lacey and Seth both go on the ropes. Seth's on the top rope, Lacey's on the second rope, and they both jump and go through the tables. Like, Seth hits Baron on that table, Becky hits Lacey on that table, which was awesome. Rollins puts Corbin back in ring. Corbin catches Seth's stomp, does a deep 6 cover, but Becky breaks it up. Lacey runs up, and Becky just throws her out of the ring. Baron Corbin does an end of days to Becky Lynch. I don't know if y'all ever seen Seth Rollins mad, but I ain't never seen him mad like this. Seth Rollins lost his gall-darn mind. He hit him with the kendo sticks repeatedly. Hit him with steel stairs. Does not 1, not 2, but 3 not curb stomps, just stomps. Finally, covers. Bethy and Sek retain. You guys know what's about to happen? Do you know whose music hits? The Beast. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come down. Lesnar gets in the ring, does 2 German suplexes to Rollins. Then cashes in. All he has to do at that point is one F5 cover. Brock Lesnar is now our Universal Champion. Great. You know that guy that shows up once every few pay-per-views and never has to defend his title? Yup, got him again. But before that, I really enjoyed that pay-per-view. People on Twitter, like, for weeks were saying how horrible it was going to be. And I'm like, I try to stay a very positive person, so I thought it would be good, and it was good. Till that. Not so positive about that. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night on Raw. Okay, I also know there was an AEW pay-per-view on this weekend. I watched most of it. I still have an hour and a half left to go. So hopefully I'll get that done and get that video up later this week. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff going on. But I have not watched Evolve yet. I don't know when I'll get to that. I also have Love Island and tonight's Big Brother. Like, I'm so behind, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If I don't annoy you too much, feel free to subscribe. Thank you to all my subscribers. Hearts and loves. That's why I'm up this late doing this for you guys, because I love you and I appreciate you. Anyway, if you're looking for a podcast, me and the amazing Oz Banks do one called Beyond Serious. It is not safe for work. You feel free to follow me on Twitter and not like any of my tweets at always_KIRSTIE. I live tweet things. Sometimes I'm funny. Oh, and if you get on my Twitter, you can see why I actually got the time zone right for AEW. So I watched the first fight of the pre-show, and then I didn't watch the rest of the pre-show. So now I have to go. I don't know. It's a whole thing. You'll see. That's a teaser. And whenever I do my AEW video, you'll know. So you really don't have to follow me on Twitter. Anyway, as Joel McHale used to say, I watch it so you don't have to. Mwah. Good night.